All right, so we all have within us the ability to naturally succeed and create the best life possible. And we most certainly deserve to be supported in that possibility, which is why you guys are all here on this call today. And I'm honored to be that support. So, a little bit about my story. For those of you guys who don't know, this used to be me. So, before the super attractive and handsome. Well, I mean, I was always kind of handsome. I mean, that's not bad, right? But before I was the super optimized version of myself that you see before you today, I was not thriving. In fact, I was surviving. I was surviving through life. I was a victim. This picture was back in 2012 when look what I was putting into my sacred vessel. What is this? You guys know this logo? I know some of you guys recognize this logo. This is a Jack in the Box bag. I was eating Jack in the Box tacos, and then what's this? What am I slunking down? That's a sugar-filled, bullshit-filled monster energy drink. Loading myself up with caffeine, probably some artificial sweeteners in there too. And no wonder I struggled with acne, with stress, poor sleep, social anxiety, and anger. I was not thriving, and so that lasted all the way through high school. And then this picture on the right you see here, this was back in 2016 during my time in the Marine Corps when I absolutely hated my life and I hated myself. And actually, those were some words that came out of my mouth often, like, fuck this, fuck that, I hate my life. Like, I would say those things to myself. And it sucked. This was by far the period of my life where I was the most miserable. And clearly, because I was distracting myself from reality with this yummy little substance that's dripping down my arm, on the floor, in my shoe, even. I'm sure you guys know what that is. That's puke. Because guess what I did that night? This was very common for me back then, is I would go out and just drink myself into oblivion because I wanted to distract myself from what I was experiencing. So I struggled with alcohol. And this is the same with any sort of addiction, whether it's nicotine, pornography, scrolling social media, shopping. All that is a distraction from your reality. You're seeking to escape what it is that you're currently experiencing to get some short-term pleasure. So that's what I was experiencing. I was extremely stressed. I had trouble sleeping. I was inflamed. Look at all this inflammation here. Like that's not fat. Like I was fit. This is just inflammation from stress and alcohol. And yeah, I was depressed. And the culmination of this was in 2017 when, as a typical weekend went, I drank myself into basically blacking out. And this was the first time that I consumed THC. So my friends passed me a THC weed vape pen, and me being the egotistical little boy that I was, I took a hit, and I was like, I don't feel anything, and just continue to rip it. And so at this point, I'm blackout drunk, I'm super high, and it's now 2 a.m. And in typical little Taylor fashion, I wanted to drive home drunk. I would do this often. Sometimes I would wake up in my car on base, not having any recollection of how I got back there. My friends would have to like wake me up in the car. And yeah, it was bad. So I was going to do that this night. My friends tried to stop me, but I was having none of it. So I, pushed past them, grabbed my keys, walked out the door. No shoes on, by the way. Proceeded to walk my way back to my car. And at some point, the random idea popped into my head that I wanted to climb houses. And I was in this nice gated beach house community right down the street in San Clemente, California, beautiful neighborhood. And so that's what I did. I started to climb and like scale the sides of these 3-story beach houses because I'm very adventurous. Like that's actually one of my core values is adventure. Now that clearly looks a little bit different now, but at this point in my life, I just hated my reality. I wanted excitement. I wanted to explore. I wanted to, experience something else. So I started climbing these houses, and I came to one window, and it was unlocked. Can you guys guess what I did? That's right. I opened the window. Obviously, as any explorer would do, I opened the window. And so now I'm in this person's bathroom at 2 a.m. And I walk out the bathroom and I look up to my right.
Creepy.
Oh, it is
Creepy.
creepy. It is creepy, Jacqueline. Yes, very, very creepy. It gets better or worse. Just wait. So I look up to my right, and there's a stairwell leading up to the third floor, and I see this dog laying at the top of the stairs, and we make eye contact, and I'm like, oh shit. So I slowly reach for the door, slowly close it shut. All good. Dog didn't make a sound. I am free to continue my exploration. So I make it into what appears to be a girl's room. It's lit, nobody's in there. And I see this like upper little loft area with like a ladder to get up there. And I love little nooks and crannies like this. So I climbed up the ladder to explore. And now I'm in this like, kind of smaller kind of closet, like big closet area. And there's a bed in here. And now there is a person in here. There's a girl sleeping. And I am sneaky as a church mouse, little ninja. I didn't make a sound. But as soon as I stepped foot into that room, like literally, I climbed up the ladder, like I see her, and it's 2:30 in the morning. She's in a deep slumber. Like I know most of you guys like sleep through your alarms sometimes, like bam, 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 and you still sleep through it. I didn't make a sound, but as soon as I get in there, she wakes up, sits up, looks at me, is like rubbing the sleep out of her eyes, like clearly dazed and confused. She's like, who are you? I was like, I'm Taylor. We met at a party. She's like, when? I was like, tonight. She's like, nope, I didn't go to any parties. I don't know who you are. I'm going to call the cops. And I was like, nope, that's okay. I'll just leave. So that's what I did. I, went down and out the bathroom window, down to the street, and started booking it back to my car. And so now knowing what I know about like energetics, she woke up not because I made any noise, but because she felt this unwelcomed presence, right? She felt that. And so as I'm running back to my car, I was like, oh man, you know what? That was really weird. I'm going to go back and apologize to this poor girl. Clearly, I'm not making good decisions in this state that I'm in. So I start my way back, but this time, guess what? This time I'm going to do it via rooftop. So now I climb up to the roof of these 3-story beach houses and proceed to jump. Welcome, Colleen. I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute, and please go ahead and turn your camera on. So now I'm on the roofs of these 3-story beach houses and proceed to jump from rooftop to rooftop back to this girl's house, like shingles shattering, like causing a ruckus at 2:30 a.m. And at this point, I think I'm in a dream. There's no way this is real life, right? Because I'm fucking drunk out of my mind. I'm high. And I come to this one gap that's pretty substantial. And I'm like, well, this is clearly a dream. Like, let's just fucking go for it. So I back up, get a running start, jump, make it to the other side. But when I land, I hear this loud pop. And I'm like, oh shit. And this was the exact moment that literally and figuratively sobered me up. I realized that I'm in fact not in a dream. I just messed up my ankle. How the heck am I going to get off this roof? Thankfully, at the time I was training CrossFit, so I was fit. So I was able to like lower myself down to their stairs, hobbled my way out their back gate, and then hobbled the rest of the way back to my car, past a security guard who didn't even question me. Woke up in my car at 7 a.m. and proceeded to drive back to base with my left foot. And turns out it was broken. So I would end up missing my second deployment. And so now I have all this time to myself because everybody's gone. I'm the only one left back. And so I had a lot of time to reflect. And so I thought to myself, I was like, okay, I could either continue living this lifestyle of drinking my pain away, which it doesn't really go away, it just compounds. So I could continue drinking, I could continue wasting my time playing video games, scrolling social media, watching porn, and just, yeah, wasting my life away. Or I could decide to make a change. Clearly, you guys know which decision I made. And the etymology of the word decide is to cut off all other possibilities. And that's exactly what I did. I cut off the old version of myself. I quit drinking for 2 years. Now I drink very rarely. And it wasn't like I had to do this like 12-step process. Like I just stopped. Because once I realized how destructive it was to my life, I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. And this is what we're going to get into in this training is to show you guys that it doesn't have to be so difficult and challenging to eliminate your bad habits. You can simply choose to do something else. Once you recognize that something is not serving you, why would you continue to do that thing? So this is what I realized. So I quit drinking. I started learning everything that I could about living a healthy and fulfilling life because I wasn't happy. I was like, okay, so I'm not happy, but I know that I can learn to be happy. I know that I can change. So that's what I did. And then I became a CrossFit coach, got recruited to be the head coach of the biggest CrossFit gym in Saudi Arabia. I took that position. I actually had another offer in the Cayman Islands, but I took the position in Saudi Arabia because they paid me more money. And I thought, contrary to the saying that money doesn't buy happiness, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I think I'll be happy with this pay. I went there, tried it out. I was not happy. I realized that I don't give two shits about money if I'm not fulfilled with the work that I'm doing because I wasn't making the impact that I wanted. I wanted to help people beyond just fitness because it was clear that these people were like training, but they still weren't fulfilled in their lives. And I was like, okay, well, if exercise is not the thing, like, how are you eating? What are your stress levels like? How are you sleeping? Like, is your work fulfilling? And their answers would always be the same. It's like, okay, well, you can't come into the gym and expect that 1 hour of exercise to offset the other 23 hours of a bad lifestyle. It's not how it works. Like, yes, exercise can help, but it's really not that important as people think it is. So at this point, I had signed a 2-year contract. I was there for 6 months. I'm like, I can't do this for another 2 years. Like I would just be miserable if I kept doing this. But what else did I have? I had no other plan. So in my free time, I would spend like 4 hours in the morning training, another like 4 to 6 hours coaching. And then in my free time, I would go to a park and read. And it was during this time when I created my MVVP, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. My mission, my vision, my values, and my purpose. Who I want to be, how I want to show up, who I want to serve, what I want to create in my life. And it was then that I started to form this idea of the Captain's Lifestyle Program, which again, I'm going to talk about at the end. So I quit my high-paying job, moved back to the States in 2019, and I burned all the ships at the shore. Again, I decided that I'm no longer doing this. I'm now on this path. And I've been doing that ever since. And I fucking love it. This is the work that I love to do. Chris has been working with me for like the past year and has made tremendous progress. Chris, salute to you, brother. You are the reason that I do this. So it's incredibly fulfilling. And so that's a little bit about my story. And this is my purpose, to make thriving standard. Because for most people, thriving is not even close to what they're experiencing. Most people are living in a state of survival, not happy with their life, not fulfilled with where they are. That is not normal. We are supposed to love our lives. We're supposed to love ourselves. We're supposed to love what we do. And this is my purpose. So here's a couple of my principles, my philosophies. Change begins from the inside out. You cannot create your life to be what you want it to be by directing your energy outwards. It has to come from within. As within, so without. As above, so below. And when we heal one, we heal all. The problem is not outside of you. The problem is not someone else. The problem is not whoever the elected government officials are. We can't elect someone to change our lives. It's not how it works. We have to be the change. As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Starts with you. And by doing that, we create this ripple effect. And this is my favorite part of coaching. Like, Chris, I love the results that you've gotten working with me. And my favorite part of coaching is how now every single person you interact with is now going to be better from having interacted with you because of the changes that you've made. You're now happier. You're now more fulfilled. You enjoy life more. You smile more. A simple smile with someone walking down the street can brighten their day. So that's my favorite part of coaching, is this ripple effect of transformation. Once we improve our lives, especially if you're a parent, then your kids start to see that. And then you're raising this next generation of thriving humans. I hope you guys understand how powerful that is. Like, yes, change for yourself is phenomenal, but really it's this ripple effect that creates the massive result. And this quote from Neville Goddard here, he says, there is no way to bring about the outer perfection we seek other than the transformation of ourselves. It starts within. So a little bit about my lifestyle. I won't go too much into this because you guys obviously all came from social media. This is now what I do. Does it look like we're in survival mode? Does it look like we hate our lives here? No, we're all thriving. We're having fun. We're healthy. We're happy. We're productive. We're loving life. This is what happens when a community of like-valued people get together and collectively work towards a goal. And that collective goal that we're working towards is to make thriving standard in our lives. And by thriving ourselves, then we help everybody around us thrive. And this is what I'm up to. So my results. On the left here, this is Captain Seven Steves. He and I have been working together for the past 3 years. When he started working with me, he was 63 years old, recently divorced, school teacher, unfulfilled in his life. He hated working his job in the school system, was not what he wanted anymore. He was depressed, he was stressed out, and he was overweight. And now you can see him. Well, I mean, you guys didn't see him before, but he looks so much better in this picture than when we first started working together. Now he's tan, which if you guys didn't know is one of the hallmarks of health. Sunlight is super important. He's lost a ton of weight. He's clearly happy. He quit his job at the school and he rediscovered his passion for photography, started his own photography business, and is now doing that. He's thriving. He's fulfilled. We got Captain J here on the right. Shout out to Kelsey, 2 gems of human beings. Appreciate you. We got Captain J here on the right. When he started work, and we actually served in the Marine Corps together. So he saw me at my lowest. And so he saw the changes and he was like, oh shit, I need some of that. So when we started, he was in extreme pain. Some of our first conversations, he was like, man, I can't get out of bed. Like my whole body is in pain. He has what's called ankylosing spondylitis. And it's just like these sharp pains all over, and like any movement would bring tremendous pain. And so clearly that led him to this like depressive state. He was stressed out, like he gained a lot of weight. And after going through the program and through the coaching, look at him now. Just got out of the ice bath. Dude's thriving. He's happier. He's healthier. He's lost a lot of weight. He has actually manifested his dream home. He has this beautiful property with his wife. He has an ice bath and chickens, and like it's freaking awesome to go from where he was, like bedridden, struggling, like in pain, to now loving the life that he's created for himself. And actually, he started his own coaching business doing similar work to what I do because of the transformation he made, similar to me. Like I experienced this, and then I'm like, I have to show other people how to do this. That's what he's doing now. And yes, I work with women also. I don't have any pictures of them because I haven't had a women's retreat, but coming soon. Shout out to Kelsey, who's going to be there coming up next week. So here's a couple testimonials from some of the women captains who have gone through the program. So feeling incredibly accomplished, proud of myself, learning to love myself. I mean, you guys can read it here. Eliminating the victim mentality, getting out of living in denial, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, if I hadn't committed to the program, I would still be living in denial and the victim mentality. I would feel sorry for myself and wouldn't be a productive part of the world. Being the captain of my own life makes me feel complete. And this is the powerful invitation I'm going to invite you guys to at the end of this training. So I want to hear from you guys. Why are you here today? Go ahead and type in the comments. What problem would you like to solve? What's going on for you? Kelsey says, increase self-discipline more than I already have. Discipline to do what, Kelsey? Because it's not a lack of discipline that you have, because right now you're disciplined to living the life that you're living. I hope you guys understand this. Like, you guys don't lack discipline. You're very disciplined in the habits that you currently have. So discipline is not your problem. Quitting nicotine, hitting workouts on the days I don't feel well. How is that affecting you, Kelsey?
This is a lot easier than just typing it all out. When it comes to the nicotine specifically, like I personally, I don't even remember why I started it. It was so long ago. Um, but like it's almost like a habit now, obviously. And um,
Let me pause you right there. It's not a habit. Let me explain why. A habit is something that you do unconsciously.
hmm.
You're aware of it, clearly, because you're telling me about it. So it's not a
Mhm.
habit. You're making a choice to do it. Just like when I realized that my habit of drinking was causing me all these problems, I decided to make a new choice. So I know like nicotine addiction and alcohol addiction are seemingly one of the hardest things to break. Well, it's as simple as not putting the fucking vape, pouch, whatever you're using in your mouth. It's as simple as not lifting the glass of alcohol and pouring it down your gullet. It's a choice. And I'm not attacking you, Kelsey. We're going to get into a little bit later why this is not your guys' faults.
Can I say
Jacqueline,
something?
yeah, what's up?
Yeah, it's a choice when you have power over the choice. But if it
Who
becomes
else
an
has power?
addiction,
Who else has
an
power?
addiction is an addiction.
False. False. It's a choice. Once you're aware of it, it is simply a choice. If you say you're addicted to it, you're addicted to the life that you do not like. And that's what we're talking about in this mastermind, is how to conquer your limitations and make new choices to create the life you want. We got comment in here from Chris. He says, continue to work on myself to live authentically and create my new life. Jacqueline says, procrastination. I always find ways not to do what I set myself to do. How else is that affecting you, Jacqueline? Linda says, here today to build consistency, would like to solve a whole holistic lifestyle. Get more specific with these guys. Like how is this affecting you? How is this showing up in your life? Colleen says, losing extra weight once and for all and learning to love exercise. Same thing, Colleen. How is this affecting you? What's the real problem? Weight is not the problem. If you weighed exactly the weight you are now, but felt how you want to feel, then you'd be fine. So it's not the weight. What's the real problem? Michael says improving the capacity to stay consistent while reaching goals. Again, more specific. Stay consistent with what? Because right now you're very consistent with the life you're currently living. Consistency is not the problem. Discipline is not the problem. Pamela says to become financially independent and more emotionally intelligent. Chris says continue coaching to thrive. Further, continuing to lose weight, being a better friend to myself and those around me. The real problem is accepting self. Now, so Chris gets it. Now we're getting to the root of the problem, self-acceptance. How is that lack of self-worth impacting you in your life? Same thing for all of you guys. Like if your issue is weight or financially independent, how are those things impacting your life? Who else in your life are these things affecting? Having a better attitude and more energy. All right. So if you guys are still typing, great. I'll read some of those, but we'll go into some of the answers that I got when I sent you guys these questions. Stuck in a depressive state, struggling with motivation. A clear path to start my business. I want to heal, rediscover myself, and move forward. Start doing work I'm passionate about and find my purpose. I'm feeling stuck. I have to get over my fears. I want to create a new life for myself. And I need to better my life in every aspect. I have low energy, poor time management, and I want to grow my business and accomplish my goals, create more clarity, and eliminate distractions. Can you guys resonate with these as well? Yeah. Cool. So I ask you, why haven't you been able to solve this on your own? It's not a lack of trying. I know you guys have been trying. This training right now isn't the first time you're like, oh shit, I have a problem. Let me try to solve this. No, this has been happening for months, for years, maybe even decades. So why have all your efforts been futile? Why have they been met with resistance, frustration, and ultimately slipping back into your old ways? I'll tell you why. Because no matter how hard you try to improve your lot in life, your unconscious will push back like an invisible tide, undermining your best intentions and efforts. Everything we do, unaccompanied by a change in consciousness, is but a futile readjustment of surfaces. I love that one. So taking this back to when I decided to quit drinking, it wasn't an addiction. I just made a new choice because what? My consciousness changed. What is your consciousness? Your consciousness is your idea of who you are. I elevated my consciousness. I said, I am no longer this person. I am now this person. I am now the person who no longer drinks alcohol. Going back to one of my philosophies and a law of nature. This is an immutable law. It cannot be any other way. As within, so without. Change must come from within. So once you change your level of consciousness, once you decide that you are done being addicted to the life you no longer like, that's when you rise in consciousness, and that's when these changes can actually manifest. Chris said, if I could have done this by myself, I would have already done it. Again, self-acceptance, support, and accountability are the mainstays. Exactly, Chris. And this is what we're going to get into in this training. So it's not your fault. You guys, this is rarely talked about. It's all about like, change your habits, do this, do that, which are all like external things, right? But if you like try all these habits, if you try like journaling and like exercising and eating better, but you don't change how you're thinking, you don't change your consciousness, it's not going to work. And if it does work, it may work for a little bit, but it's like a struggle. It's like you're suffering. It's like people who follow a diet, like, oh, I have to eat this crappy food and I have to go exercise. And it's like a grind. That's not how this is supposed to feel. As Albert Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. It's impossible. This is why change does not happen. So go ahead and grab your magic wands, aka pens. We're going to do a little exercise here. Yvonne, I see you got a kitty there. I love cats. Definitely a cat person over a dog person. All right. So with your magic wand in hand, we're going to do some magic. Go ahead and write down these 3 sentence stems on 3 separate lines and like skip a line between to leave space for corrections. I have to. Next line. I need to. Next line. I should. And now go ahead and complete those sentences with whatever comes to mind. You've got your sentences, or at least one of them. Go ahead and type it in the comments there. Austin says, doing the things I told myself I would do when I tell myself I'm going to do them. Following through with doing the things on a daily basis I know I must do in order to fulfill my desire and create the results I desire. Great, Austin. So must is another one of these words, similar to have to, need to, should. So whatever those things are, I invite you guys to get specific with this. No more generalizing, like get specific. This is another reason why you're not getting the results. It's because you're like, oh, I want to change. I want to accomplish my goals. I want to do, well, what the fuck are your goals? Like get specific. What are the specific problems you're experiencing? What are the specific things you want to do? Linda says, I have to go to church. I need to unfortunately leave you all. I should, oh, okay, well, bye, Linda. She's already gone. See ya. Chris says, I have to believe in myself. I need to be more disciplined. I should be proud of myself. I invite you guys, again, to get more specific with this. So Chris, for you, like, I need to be more disciplined. Again, discipline is not your problem. You are extremely disciplined in living the exact life that you are living right now. So Chris, go ahead and come off mute. Chris McCormick. Hello? And go, what's up, Chris? Go ahead and read your 3rd sentence.
I should be proud of myself.
How do you feel when you read that?
I am, but not to the extent that I would like to be. I doubt myself a lot.
How does that feel?
Shitty.
I bet.
And it gets into a spiral and, you know, this loop.
I'm well aware. I was I was there for many years. So here comes some magic. what happens when you cross off or cross out the word should? Do this on your paper. Cross out the word should and replace it with could. Read that.
Could be proud of myself.
What are you feeling?
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't think about it, feel about it.
I could, yes, I could be. It's something I work towards. I've really made a lot of changes in the last year. And part of me, because of circumstances, is embarrassed. And part is proud. I'd like to get rid of the embarrassment, block that side.
Yep, I hear you. Cross out the word could and now replace it. Do this physically, don't just look at it. Cross out could, put in can.
Yes.
Anything change?
I can be proud of myself, and because of the work I'm done and I'm doing, the commitment I've made to myself. So yeah.
So is that a true statement? Can you be proud of
Yes.
yourself?
Yes.
How does that feel?
Feels good.
Better than shitty?
That's definitely better than shit.
Awesome. Great work, Chris. Thanks for sharing.
Thank
Let's see what else we got in the comments here. Let's go with Chris, other Chris. I have to take better care of my sleep hygiene. Chris, go ahead and come off mute.
Hello.
Go ahead and read that first sentence.
I have to take better care of my sleep hygiene.
How does that, just the first part, how does that feel when you read it?
It feels true. It feels, well, I'm definitely working on it. It's mainly the mindless scrolling. I still do that despite knowing that it's going to interfere with my sleep. And
so how does this feel?
it's shitty.
Cool. What happens if you cross out the word have and replace it with get? Now read that.
I get to take better care of my sleep hygiene. Specifically,
No, just the first part.
just that, yeah. Okay. I get, well, it empowers me for sure. The have is more of a external, but getting to do something is it changes the whole meaning of the sentence. I
Bingo.
get to, yeah.
Yep. Does that feel better than have to?
Absolutely, yeah. Because have to is usually things that you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but getting
Right.
to, it's personal, and it's like it's, I can see more clearly the usefulness for myself. I get to, and it gives you permission to, not really permission, but it lets you take control.
Yep. Awesome. So again, we went from shitty to empowered just by changing one word. Let's go with Yvonne,
Okay.
go ahead and come off mute. Read your third sentence.
I should try harder to get out of my rut.
How do you feel when you read that?
Like I need to do that.
How does that feel, knowing that you're not?
So I feel stuck, like crazy that it's been my intention for a long time and it's just not changing.
Mm-hmm. Let's do this. Cross out the word harder.
Okay.
And cross out the words should and
Mhm.
try. And now replace it with choose.
I choose to get out of my rut.
Anything change?
Yeah, I feel lighter. I mean, if I feel delusional, but I choose to get out of my rut. It's like it's hard to believe. I choose to get out of my rut. Mm-hmm.
Is that something you want to choose?
Yeah.
Is anyone else
Yeah.
in control of that choice?
No.
Why is it delusional? Would you want to choose to stay in it?
No, I don't want to choose to stay in it. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
So you say
Okay.
you say you feel lighter.
Yeah. I choose to get out of my rut. It's empowering. It's like, okay, if I can make that happen, that would be wonderful. Like,
Are you more likely to take action when you feel lighter and empowered?
um, probably. Mhm.
What do you mean probably? Yes or no?
Um, yes.
You had to think about that. Are you more likely to take action when you feel lighter and empowered or stuck in a
No,
rut?
no, you're right. Yeah, I would feel yes. Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great work. All right, we'll do one more. We'll go with Austin. Go ahead and come off mute real quick. And go ahead and read your third sentence.
I should forgive myself.
How does that feel when you read it?
I don't know, kind of sad.
Yeah. What happens when you cross off should and put in could?
Feels more.
Read it first.
I could forgive myself. Feels more optimistic and empowering.
Great. Are you more likely to forgive yourself if you feel optimistic and empowered?
Yes, sir.
What if you cross out could and replace it with can? Do it
I
physically.
wouldn't do it then. I do it right now. I can forgive myself.
Which do you prefer, could or can?
Can.
How does it feel?
Feels great. Feels like I know I can do it.
What happens if you cross out could?
If I cross out could.
Yeah. Do it on your paper. Now read that sentence.
I can forgive myself.
Nope. Cross out could and cross out can.
Oh, I forgive myself.
Now breathe. Read it again and breathe.
I forgive myself.
One more time.
I forgive myself.
What's coming up?
A lot of emotion. But it feels good. Feel a lot better, honestly.
Awesome. Thank you, Austin. Great work. Normally, I would go way more in depth into all of these things and spend more time on each one. But for the sake of this, because we're already at an hour and I still got to get through more. But if you guys are getting value from this, stay on. So what we just experienced was magic. When you guys hear, I've got this little stone right here. I don't know if you guys can read this, but it says abracadabra. You guys hear abracadabra, I imagine magic comes to mind, yes? Well, abracadabra is translated from ancient Aramaic to mean, with my words, I create. With my words, I create. The definition of a spell is a word or combination of words of great influence. That's why they call it spelling. We are quite literally casting spells on ourselves that with my words, aka spells, I create what? What do we just experience? I create how I feel. I create how I act. I create who I am. Because the combination of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions form our personality. Our personality shapes our personal reality. So if you want to experience a new personal reality, you must change your personality. And it starts by changing your thoughts, the words you're using, the spells you're casting, which change how you feel. And when you feel differently, as we just experienced, you're more likely to take new actions. That's changing your consciousness. Because right now, you guys have been casting unconsciously dark magic on yourselves that have been keeping you trapped in this box of, I can't do it. I'm addicted to this. It's too hard. I can't afford it. I don't have time. Whatever it is, if that's what you believe and that's how you feel, constricted, stuck, trapped, stressed, anxious, depressed, whatever it is, that's what you're going to continue to create in your life. So this is why it hasn't been your fault, because almost nobody is talking about this. You have to change your consciousness, change the spells you're casting on yourself. This was a simple one-word exercise. We just changed one word, changes how you feel about the sentence completely, right? So here are the ingredients that are required to change. P.I.S.S. Here's your first urination reference. P.I.S.S. is an acronym for purpose, identity, strategy, and support. Without these key ingredients, any real change is impossible. And it's met with frustration, difficulty, and ultimately just slipping back into your bad habits. And the exercise we just did in raising our consciousness and changing the spells that we're casting on ourselves is a part of identity. Because again, how we think, feel, and act create our personality, which is our identity, right? So purpose is why you exist. What is your why? As Viktor Frankl said in Man's Search for Meaning, a man or a woman who has a strong enough why can bear with almost any how. So if you know why you want to give up your addiction to the life you don't even like, it becomes significantly easier. Like when I knew my why to give up drinking, I was like, okay, well, I no longer want to be a piece of shit and puke on myself and fucking break my ankle and destroy my life. And I want to create this. And I had this ideal version of myself. That became my why. So it's like, okay, well, alcohol is not a part of that. It was an easy choice. So I had a strong enough why. Identity is who you are. It's your behavior. Behave is made up of two words, be and have. Most people operate from the do, have, be paradigm. I need to do these things so then I can have this result and then I can be happy. That's why you're stuck, because you're operating from the do, have, be. You need to operate from the be, do, have paradigm. Change your level of consciousness, change your conception of yourself, how you talk to yourself in your head. Stop talking shit to yourself. Create more confidence, etc. So many things. You have to be that person. Once you are that person, then you will do the things, and then you will have what you want in life. So it's reversed. Be, do, have. That's your identity, who you are, your core values, your mission in life. Because when you're connected to your purpose and understand, not understand, but understand, meaning it becomes part of you. You understand, like it's who you are. You understand your identity. It's impossible to fall off track. Not impossible to fail or to mess up or to make mistakes, but impossible to slip and fall off track. Because once you understand your purpose and understand your identity, if you make a mistake, you're like, cool, what did I learn? How can I improve? Let's start again. You see obstacles as opportunities, not setbacks. And the more connected you are to your purpose and the more clear you are on who you are, the faster you will succeed. This quote from William Whitecloud here. He says, more than your genetic disposition, your intelligence, your education, your gender, political system you're under, economic conditions, or any other factor you might believe controls your circumstances, it's the messages you give yourself, wittingly or unwittingly, that shape your experience. Consequently, you need to be able to hear what your unconscious is telling you, because it's lying to you nonstop. It's constantly telling you you don't have it in you to achieve the end results you desire. Lack of self-worth is a lie. Lack of confidence is a lie that you're telling yourself that you're not good enough. It's a lie based on past experiences, past beliefs, and your thought patterns. Same thing with everything you're telling yourself as to why you can't exceed. It's just a bullshit story that you're believing is the reason why you don't have what you have. Again, change your thoughts, change your consciousness. This is from Neville Goddard. He says, the awareness of being is the door through which the manifestations of life pass into the world of form. If you are dissatisfied with your present expression in life, the only way to change it is to take your attention away from that which seems so real to you and rise in consciousness to that which you desire to be. For your conviction of yourself, your opinion of yourself will determine your expression in life. Again, as within, so without. Change must come from within. All of your present beliefs, fears, and limitations are weights that bind you to your present level of consciousness. If you would transcend this level, you must leave behind all that is now your present self or conception of yourself. And to do this, you take your attention away from all that is now your problem or limitation and dwell upon just being. Quote from my man Jesus Christ here. He agrees with all this. fact, he was one of the original teachers. Ye must be born again, for except ye be born again, ye cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Born again. Great example. When I broke my ankle, I completely changed all of my habits. Not, right exactly in that moment. It's a process. I don't want this to sound like you just fucking overnight, everything is improved. That's not how this works. It's a decision to consistently make these changes. This is a lifelong process. It's a lifelong decision to continue to remake yourself anew into your ideal version. More from Neville Goddard here. He says, your environment and all within it reflects that which you are in consciousness. As long as you continue to be that in consciousness, so long you will continue to outpicture it in your world, as within, so without. The rising in consciousness is the spiritual marriage where two shall agree upon being one. For life makes no mistakes and always gives man that which man first gives himself. So if you're experiencing self-worth issues or anxiety or depression, you're experiencing this internal state. So that's what your external state provides you. To dissolve a problem that now seems so real to you, all that you do is remove your attention from it, in spite of its seeming reality. Turn from it in consciousness, become indifferent, and begin to feel yourself to be that which would be the solution to your problem. And again, we do this by changing our thoughts, the spells we're casting, as we did in that exercise, which changes how we feel, which changes how we act, which is our behavior. Be, have. So I ask you, are you spending or investing your time, energy, and attention? I know many of you guys, because of what you put in the comments and why you're on this call today, are wasting your time on things that are not bringing you what you want in life. You're wasting your energy. You're giving away your attention. You're placing it on things that are not serving you. So I invite you to invest. Time, energy, and attention are our most valuable resources. You guys are so cognizant of what you spend your money on, but yet you give away your time, energy, and attention so freely, which is why we get ourselves in this position. And once you start to view your attention, your time as extremely valuable assets, that's when things begin to change. So I recommend throwing a fucking rock at your TV. Unfollowing all the accounts on social media that you distract yourself with. Like, you're just bleeding all of your energy and attention. And you wonder why you haven't created the life that you want. Well, look at where you're giving your time, energy, and attention. What are you investing it in? We tend to live our lives by trying to work them out, never realizing why we might be so stuck in such an unsatisfying experience of our careers, lifestyles, relationships, social involvement, health, or creative expression. The harder people try, keyword there, try, to give up their addictions or overcome their financial problems or hang on to their relationships or control their lives, the more their problems seem to compound. So it's clear you guys have been trying, which is why you're still struggling with all the things you're struggling with. So once you are clear on your purpose and identity, you need a clear strategy to fulfill your purpose. Because armed with a clear strategy and accountability and support along your journey, that's how you're able to create it. As Chris said in the comments earlier, if he was able to do this himself, he would have a long time ago. That's why we're working together. We're creating his purpose, his new identity, giving them a strategy and the support to get there. So Pearson's law says that which gets measured is improved. So I guarantee you guys are not measuring. You don't have a spreadsheet that's, having all the things that you want to do. Like a checklist. Nobody's keeping track of this for you. Right? No. So now I ask, what's the cost of not changing? What's the cost of staying exactly where you are? What's the cost of thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same feelings, taking the same actions? What's the cost of holding on to your bad habits? It's pretty expensive. The answer is it's costing your life, your relationships. So, do you want to solve this problem now? Or do you want to act like you're interested in accumulating information to someday solve this problem? Which is mental masturbation. Saying things like, I just want more information, or I need to think about it. This is a delay tactic. You don't need more information. You need to take action. You need to change who you're being. Here's the second urination reference. The word "the" shouldn't be in there. When you have to go to the pee, I hope you guys never have to go to the pee. I don't know what that would be, but it sounds weird. When you have to go pee, what do? Do you have to sit down and think about it? Do you need more information on how to go pee? Do you have to come up with a 13-step process? You have to sit down and meditate about it. You have to journal your thoughts on, oh, should I go pee now? Should I wait till later? No. When you have to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. You resolve the problem. You make a change. You relieve yourself. It's the same thing with the problems that you guys are experiencing. You're experiencing this problem. What do? You need to go get more information. You need to think about it.